Recording up on me.
All set. All right.
So that one.
Right.
I'm used to that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Could I get a motion for the approval of today's agenda?
I will second.
Okay, Fred, then Mike, there is one correction. We just added a voucher this afternoon after this was published for $716.25. So that the previous amount was $409,468.28. So we're adding $716.25. So that's the only adjustment. So with that correction, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All those good. Could I get a motion to approve the minutes? We had two meetings this past month. We had on April 8th, and we had a special meeting on April 28th. So can I get a motion?
Just for clarification purposes, everybody's here except for Mr. Kirsten.
I was going to.
And I was just gonna ask.
I
if
was
he
just
was
going
on.
to, yep. So I was going to introduce everybody in a second. So I get your motion?
Move.
Okay, Tony second, Fred first. All those in favor?
Aye.
Good. Just so we have people, I got Ellie Calvin is on the waiting room. So, okay, so now, let me do some introductions. In the room here, I'll flip the things around so we can see. We have Walt Aikman, our arborist for the town, Rick Albato, our town attorney, Judge Mary Jones is here, Tammy Clarity's here, Fred Cornelius, Mike Vitale, both councilmen, myself, and on the internet, we have Mickey Belosi, and we have Ellie Calvin. I hope I pronounced everything correctly, and Tony Gacciardi, also online. So, anybody, first thing on the agenda is public to be heard. Would anybody like to be heard? Nobody would like to be heard. We'll go to the next item on the agenda, which is communications. Under communications, we have a request from the Owasco Fire Department. The Chief Jeremy Bavone is looking to install a parking area on the north side of our building for members to park, for their members to park while responding to call. And they would also like to put up a storage barn behind the chicken coop. Both of these properties are on town property. I just put this on the agenda, so they notified us today. I don't think we need to take action today, but I want to make everybody aware of it so that we can talk about it between now and next month. I know I had one response already, trying to look at the property that they have a playground at the hamlet, and the town has put that equipment in there, but it's pretty much it's not an extensive playground, and it's not, probably should come down more than go up. So we'll look into that. I did have communications today also with the school districts. They are possibly redoing their playground up here. So we have two playgrounds already within the town. And so if someone would like, if someone's interested in, and looking at a playground up there and wants to form a committee and make recommendations on what to do and how we're going to do it, I would be more than willing to, we'll set something up and we can get a committee together and make a recommendation to the board or something like that.
So the big question that I had is, I'm sure there's a couple of things. There'd be some legality, or we'd have to have some kind of memorandum of understanding with the fire department with regard to the land use. I assume, right? If we were to say, okay, you can go ahead and and build something on town property, we'd have to do something.
Yeah, easement agreement,
Yeah.
something, so the rights and responsibilities of both parties are spelled out.
Right.
Based on their board and this board.
Well,
Understand.
I would also like clarification on the word have. You're right, you brought it up, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna bring it up too, is from the town to have this parking lot.
We
Yeah.
can,
Use, yeah.
we could
possible.
turn it over too. I mean, it's,
As long as
know,
we have permanent use of it.
Yeah. Well, and
we don't even need it.
Yeah.
It's
Well, and
swampland.
yeah, I'm not worried about that. We had talked about back, I don't know, in the spring sometime last year or I don't know, sometime we had talked about the fact that we've got a state-of-the-art playground for kids down at this end of the town. It's the best, there's no question about it. But this, no matter how much we want to say it does not service the population up in the hamlet. And there's a decent amount of people up there that could get use out of it doesn't have to be to this extent, but some decent playground equipment up there in the hamlet. So if there was a way that we could do some kind of quid pro quo that worked out for everybody, they get the land that they need down here, and we could take over that parcel of land up there so that we could do something with something that would benefit the community and the children that live up in the hamlet. It's just something I'd like to talk about.
So I appoint you the chair of the committee. Because
Good job, Fred.
I did the
Yeah.
one down here, and I tell you what, I did 2 years, and that was, it cost us, we raised about $400,000 and it cost $600,000.
Yeah, you went too far.
I know.
You went over the top. I'm
Yeah.
talking about a slide, some
State of the
swings.
art.
Yeah.
And it's got all the things, all
Yeah.
the bells and
We could
whistles.
plant a tree up there.
Yes, we need a tree.
So wait till I tell you the idea about the beach volleyball and the
Oh, my
the
God.
feather ball and everything else. So, okay.
All right.
That would be that. So we'll talk to Rick and we'll get some legal ease out of the way for next time and we'll report back on that. The next letter is, we had a new business. We had a letter from a town resident, John Spoto. I believe I forwarded it to everybody. He is requesting a reduction in the water billing, but primarily for the sewer, because he said that according to him, that he didn't, I'm trying to see if he's here because I'm just going to turn my computer around and make sure he's not trying to get in. And no one else is trying to get in.
Which house are we talking about?
He's the house on the north end of the lake on the bend there. He's next
Brook Hollow?
No,
Oh,
up
okay, by Didio's old
by
house.
Didio's old house on the north end of the lake.
Okay.
And because of the leak, he would like a reduction in the sewer. And past practice has always been that if someone can demonstrate that the leak was outside of the house and did not go into the sewer, they still had to pay for their water usage. But if this water did not go into the sewer and we didn't have to pay the city of Auburn to treat that water, whether it's clean or not, it still has to be treated. We forgave the sewer portion of the bill, which happens to be twice as much as the water charge. And he, to me, has not provided the proper documentation for relief of the sewer yet. So until that happens, I believe, in my opinion, it's up to the board to, you have to decide yes or no, but we should hold off until we get proper documentation, until that there was from a contractor or whoever that repaired it, that it was on the outside of the house.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that only
by
makes
past
sense.
practice.
Happy to help them out as long as it falls into those parameters.
Okay. Old business. No old business. First resolution of the night is to I'll ask for a motion to appoint Jeffrey Lowe as the new town assessor to finish out the remaining term of the county's duties that were to, it's a 6-year obligation. Once someone's appointed, the county wants to pull out of their agreement effective the end of this month, once we get through the assessment review board negotiations, and Jeffrey would take over June 1st. The average rate would be, which is customary for now for payment, and is around $15.50 per parcel. The town of Owasco has 2,063 parcels according to the tax rolls. So his salary for the year would end up being $31,976.50, and he would be paid bi-weekly. So could I get a motion for discussion?
Move.
Yeah, so
Okay, Fred and Mike. The only thing else, I have forwarded everybody a copy of their of his resume, and I forward credentials. He worked for the state assessment review board as a senior person there, and he retired about 2 years ago and currently working in several other towns right now as their part-time assessor.
So
Counselor had a question.
Is it prorated for the year or?
Yes,
is
that
it
would be
year-
prorated. Yeah, it'd be prorated.
So it's an annual salary,
Annual share, yeah, so we
but
should say,
this year would be prorated.
that's correct.
Should we modify that resolution?
Good catch. We
so
would
it
say.
would be,
Yeah,
it would be from June 1st on, so
Yeah,
7
it's-
months worth.
yeah, prorated for,
Maybe maybe at the end, to be
And-
prorated as of 6/1/21.
Yep.
Yeah.
Candy, that's
Yeah,
okay.
got it.
okay, Fred, you had a question?
You said he's doing several towns right now, and he obviously feels like he has enough time to dedicate to the 2,063 parcels here in
did
Owasco.
I read he was gonna give something up before this?
Yeah, yeah, eventually, he made commitments. He's doing 2 revals this year with other towns. The big thing with him right now is that he cannot do a reval. Next year, they were gonna do the reval. The county was gonna start the reval next year anyways, but he's gonna start the inventory with Linda's help right now, and he's gonna utilize Linda to go out and do, taking pictures, that kind of stuff. So yes, to answer your question, yes, he feels yes, lots of times he's going to commit 2 days a week, 2 3-hour shifts in the office. Then he's going to provide on call. He's going to provide a cell phone number that any resident can call him at any time and get a hold of him. And he would do that. And he says he will be doing working after the office hours to complete more hours to do that. So, and he's willing to do the reval, and not this year because he's got 2 this year. He committed to 2 next year, but after that, the towns that he's doing it has less than like 300 parcels.
So we would be looking at a reevaluation in 2022 or
The
2023.
2023 will be done. Yeah. So so this year and next year we'll be collecting inventory, going out, taking, if you look at the county's website, the real property office website, which is called ImageMate. ImageMate is supposed to have updated pictures, updated information. There have been a lot of stuff that were additions that were put on, sheds that were put on properties that did not get permits for. So what he's going to instruct Linda to do is like take a street a week,
Mhm.
go up, take pictures of the property, take pictures of the area, and increase the inventory. And just by increasing the inventory alone will increase our total value of the town. And by doing that, also increases our income from the county tax base, because it's strictly how much you get in tax revenue is strictly based on what your assessed value is in the town.
Fred, years ago, the town purchased a program, so I'm dating myself, but it's probably well over 10 years ago, maybe even more. So when a building permit is issued or certificate of compliance, it's supposed to go to the assessor's office. So
Okay.
someone says, okay, so-and-so put on that detached garage on Second Avenue and put on the addition of a porch. So it triggers the assessor to go look at it, so, after the construction's done,
Okay.
for inventory purposes, like the supervisors indicate.
So if we're gonna be, if we're gonna be doing the inventory, we should definitely put something out on the website or something to let people know that there's gonna be somebody out taking pictures of their house. It'll cut down on the number of calls to the 911 center.
Yeah.
I would have, and maybe it did go out and I just didn't see it, but I would have definitely liked to know that the sewer department was doing a smoke test. Because
Yeah, when
I came home, lights and siren, because my stepson was like, the house is full of smoke.
570 letters we mailed
Yeah.
out, and then it was on the website and Facebook. Just
Yeah.
so that we did
Yeah.
the list that Linda comprised
Well,
based on the engineers.
Yeah, apparently my house is broken because the smoke comes inside.
you don't have proper
Yeah, you
traffic.
gotta get a new trap.
Yeah, your trap's not working properly. Yep.
No traps.
No traps. Well,
Yeah.
it's coming out of the basement, so
Yeah, it's,
fresh
yeah,
drain.
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Comes in good.
I think it's
comes in
illegally
really
hooked
good.
up to the sewer, so we're going to fine you.
See, I
Okay.
gave myself up.
So does anybody else have any questions on the assessor or anything to deal with that? The one thing you should be aware of also with the assessor, that when it comes time to do the reval, there is an additional cost associated with that. Part of that cost does get reimbursed back by the state.
Yeah.
Not all of it, but a significant part. But if we can get most of the inventory done, that's the majority of the work prior to doing the reval, and it'll be good. So, any more questions? Well, just so everybody knows, Tim Kerstetter completed his other work and got here. Thank you. It's a
problem.
bad situation, but
Take care of your priorities.
yeah. Okay, so you want to do a roll call on this one?
Councilman Cornelius,
Yes.
Councilman Garchardi. Can Tony hear me?
Yep, Tony, can you hear? Raise your hand
Councilman
if you agree.
Kerstetter.
Yes. Yep.
Councilman Vitale.
Yes.
Supervisor Wagner.
Yes,
Did Tony say yes?
yes, he did. He
Okay,
raised his hand.
okay.
Yep. The next thing is to reaffirm the Town of Owasco's Veterans Exemption to as follows. Nothing's changed that what's already there, but we did not have a official something in writing when the town did this many, many years ago, and our assessor, when they were going through the documentations, this was not documented, so we needed to document it. So this is what we're doing. So can I get a motion for that?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay, any further questions?
Yeah, I don't agree with the percentages on combat and wartime. I wasn't in combat. I have nothing to gain by this. Don't get me wrong. I don't gain nothing. I'm a veteran, but I don't gain anything because I don't own a house. My son does. But a wartime veteran is the same as a combat. He supported the combat people. I wasn't in combat, but I was there. It wouldn't be fair to me. I lost a captain and I lost another guy, amongst other body bags that came through. I think we should add this 25 and this 15 and divide it by 2. Everybody gets 20%. It's not fair. You know, you got a wheel out there and it takes every spoke to keep it turning.
So what is the definition that we're using for, because there's definitions in every different law
like the
for
star.
combat veteran, wartime veteran,
But I think
sometimes it's
stateside, and then
well,
No,
sometimes it's you have to have a,
wartime would be, and well, wartime should be, is anybody in the service.
anybody, right, during. the-
Anybody, no matter where you were, and it's not fair to guys
Right,
like
but
me that
there's-
was out,
but
that
there's
were out.
timeframes, it
Right.
was for the
Different
Vietnam War, it starts on this day, it ends on this day. For
But you
the-
were a veteran.
Right,
As far as I'm concerned, you were a veteran out there. Whether you were stateside or overseas. Some guys didn't go overseas, but they supported the wartime and everybody else out there. I don't see any difference between, yeah, they went through hell out there. I agree.
Is this at the discretion of the town, or is it?
Yes.
Is
It's
it?
up to the discretion of the town. If you're gonna have it, I think it should be equal.
So did we have?
That's my feeling. Yeah, like I said, I got nothing to
I'll
gain
make a
here.
motion for discussion.
Oh, do we have a motion in second yet?
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh, there it is.
so,
We did, Mike and Fred.
okay, so what I would recommend, because I don't have the answers, and this is the first I'm hearing about it, I would like to table this
Yeah,
to next month, so I can get the definitions. I'll give it to everybody prior to, and then I can give you the definitions. Maybe the devil's in the details, and maybe the definitions are self-explanatory, and I can give you more background from the county office. So
And then I had one question on the disability. It didn't have a percentage, but it does have up to a maximum of 40,000.
yeah.
I think that's income. I remember Linda saying, but I don't know, we could check that out.
Oh,
I
okay. I
remember
thought it was
Linda
an
saying
exemption.
that there's
Mhm.
only, I
Yeah.
think, one person that has it, and income had to be that.
I thought that was an
income.
assumption.
I
Okay.
think that is, but check with her.
Okay, the other thing,
So
We're gonna table it.
we're gonna table it, yep. All those in favor of tabling it?
Aye.
Okay. The next resolution is to approve the justice audit for the 2020 by this internal CPA. Everybody was able to
I'll make a motion for that.
read
I'll
that.
second it.
Timmy, then Mike. Is there any questions on the justice audit? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next is a,
That was just the external audit, not the comptroller. I know you understand, yeah.
so next is the accept the 2021 Arbor Day proclamation as presented. We
make
have
a motion for
Dr.
discussion.
Walt Beekman here to answer any questions that you might have. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion. for
Timmy,
that.
And I'll second.
any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Okay, the next resolution is a resolution to submit the question to abolishing one of the elected Wasco justices.
Oh, hang on. I'm sorry.
Uh,
I've got a question. You want to-
Yes,
About Arbor Day,
yes,
the students at Wattsville Elementary are gonna plant 3 trees tomorrow.
Yep.
The district purchased, and when there's a 4th tree, we'll plant the playground. The next little tree that Rich Knoll purchased. And we'll replace the dead tree with the playground. It's a flower and dogwood.
oh, nice.
they're gonna plant the trees where?
The students are gonna plant on the far side, the back side near the playground of the elementary school. There's 2 trees that were very poor shape. And then the 3rd spot, which will be visible to the students on the north end.
And we have to do this, every year we have to do some type of Arbor Day celebration to continue our Tree City
City.
USA recognition to do that. So, and lucky to have Walt supervising that for us. So, thank you, Walt.
Or as we like to call him, Mr. Tree.
That's it. Okay, so resolution 75 for 2021 is a resolution to abolish one of the elected Owasco Town justices to the election for the at the end of this year. So we're going to basically go from 2 to 1 justice. And we have all the whereases, and is there a motion for
Move.
discussion?
I'll second.
So Fred, then Tim. So in consultation with our Justice Mary Jones earlier today, she made a recommendation on one of the whereas is that gotta find it here.
It's under the numbers, next page, whereas since on or about January 2020,
That the arraignments are being held at the county jail rather than the Owasco Town Hall. And the rationale behind that was that, that may be true, but they still have to go out there and do the work. And from my recollections, they have to do what, 6 days every, no,
Yeah,
7 days a
so
month.
it's divided. It's whatever in your plan that you agree to with the cap arraignment courts.
I
I
think,
think we're up to 9 a year, so the WASC will now be 8 or 9 every 6 months, and now if there's one judge, we're at 18 every 6 months. It doubles the workload of one judge in a town.
on call, okay.
So, just as a point of clarification on that, it does, and I don't dispute that, but the judges are being paid by the Office of Court Administration for any appearance that they make there. Not the town, the judges are being paid. So the town isn't being reimbursed for the judge's time. The judge gets paid the town salary and $125 per appearance.
Fred, for 12 years, we were coming out at 2 a.m. There was no stipend to do that. That's part of the duties.
Right,
That's a state plan that they came up with. So it really is one or the other, but it's a 2.5 hour window that you have to be available. And if you don't do arraignment, there's no payment.
right.
So you're up at 6 a.m. and you have to be ready from, until 9:30 in the morning or the same in the evening. You're on call. And on call, at times, you don't make that money.
Oh,
And I want to stress, if you had read Lloyd Hoskins' report, if somebody had sent it to you, it's deceiving because that's the number of arraignments that you did. Like last Saturday, I was there, I did 4 arraignments. I went in at 6:30 in the evening. I didn't get home until 9:30 at night. So it's not a money-making venture, and that has nothing to do with the town.
it absolutely has something to do with the town because we pay the judges and up until last year, you were paid your salary, or not focusing on you, but you were paid your salary to come in and do arraignments in the middle of the night. And that was part of the job, and that part of the job is gone now. So
It's
So
not
if
gone.
it
It's
is
public
gone.
safety.
that part of the job is gone.
The difference is we're the entire county now, from Sterling all the way down to Summerhill.
At a designated time, but never at 2 a.m.
Well, that's not true. That is totally untrue, because if in case there's a riot situation or a situation where arraignment has to be made immediately, we certainly can get called out at 2 a.m. Has it happened? Not to me personally, but there is that chance.
I have not seen that in either the law or in
I'll
practice.
get you the writing if you want to see it. I'm not arguing. with
Yeah.
you. I have no issue with you abolishing a judicial position.
No, that,
I mean,
it's
It's town business. That's not my business.
so,
So
and I agree, it's not a huge amount of money, but for 9 every 6 months, if that's $1,125 extra dollars per
That's if.
judge. If, right, that's if, you're right, because you don't get paid if you don't go in. And, so it's in a big portion or a reasonable portion of the town judge's job was eliminated when we went to centralized
it's
arraignment.
not eliminated.
It was eliminated.
It's just centralized. It's not eliminated. It's
Well-
more work for us than it was coming into our own court, worrying about our own town and the surrounding towns or villages that touch us. Now we're actually, it's more work because you're handling the entire county.
I understand that Cornelius is backed up now that they're down to one judge.
We'll agree to disagree.
yeah, my concern was that, if there was a large incident like the 4th of July fireworks up here at the park and there's, a big brawl and they arrest 15 or 20 people,
Mhm.
don't those 15 or 20 people have to go back to the original jurisdiction of court?
Eventually, yes,
So if
not
we had,
not on the initial arraignment,
right, after the initial arraignment, they would be back to the town justice.
right, at a time
So I think
scheduled
just-
later.
Yeah. I don't know, I just think in the time of defunding the police and everything's moving towards that direction, I don't think we need to look at defunding the courts right now.
We're not defunding the courts. We're
Defunding the
making
people.
an appropriate,
Consolidating the people.
we're making an appropriate decision based on numbers. We're making an appropriate
if we're doing it
fiscal
for the
decision based
savings-
on numbers.
But if we look at the numbers and savings, then we're doing it to save $9,000 a year. And we spent what, What did we spend on the playground last year?
Cut the playground.
Well, or example of, we just spent, $2 million on that water treatment facility.
Special district, and not a general
Well-
fund. It's a separate.
So the-
Drinking
so
water.
the-
Well, I'm making an example of $9,000 is not, in our town budget, it's not a lot of money considering
It's,
with the
it's not a
crime,
lot of
with
money.
the crime out now. I
It's
just
not a
hate to
lot,
see-
it's not a lot of money. Is that what the judge's salary? I don't even know what the judge's
Well, I
salary
think
is.
we did a
It'd be about
About
almost a $9,000.
8,500, whatever,
Okay.
maybe $600.
If you eliminate the job, whose job would be eliminated?
There's an election at the end of this year,
November.
and then
Correct.
this,
It would
and then
start-
whoever is elected, Judge Jones is running, there's another person running against him, whoever is elected would serve 4 years from that time.
No one's gonna be.
No one's
job-
out the door, no one has to, we've got a vacant position right now, and when a judge is elected, they're elected for the term. They're not elected to fill a portion of a term, they're elected for the term.
And I think New York State's eventually gonna push to districtized courts where they'll be getting rid of all town courts altogether. They'll have, state district courts, and they'll have their own basically jurisdictions.
Yeah, we'll all be gone by then, but
Oh, yeah, but,
Is that what they're
then they'll be
shooting for?
billing the
eventually
towns,
eventually
Then each
that-
town
that'll
will pay-
probably happen.
pay for a couple $100,000 judge salaries,
And,
clerks
uh,
and everything.
and we had a unanimous vote to bring this forward last month. So it was unanimous last month, so we already voted to do this, and we had I put justifications down and at your request, and that's what I did. So,
I can make a motion to table until next month. just to see.
no, I'm not tabling it. We're gonna vote it. I'm in support of this, and I'm going.
So wait, just for fun, what's the purpose of waiting? What are you looking to find out?
Well, I can reach out to some more of the other courts that have gone to one and see if there is in fact a backlog, and
Yeah,
what was the
Well,
earliest?
Aurelius is doing twice as many cases.
Now-
Than we are.
We're going to election in November, and she's up for election. So no matter what we do here, she's still gonna have to go up for election. Am I correct? The
Yes.
only thing we're doing is eliminating a job. It
Right.
wouldn't be naturally hers,
No,
but it would be a
Position.
job.
it's a job, and whoever is elected in November's election serves for 4 years.
Yeah, so that our current,
Nothing
The current
changes as
judge,
far as this happens.
whatever we vote here tonight won't affect our current judge, because she's
No.
still gotta go up for election.
Right.
So whatever
Yeah,
we
that
do
term
will
will
not
be-
affect her.
Right.
So. I understand where he's going, because I know I've looked at this before, and we wanted to do away with it in truth, but now, talking to some of these other people, and they say, well, you're crazy for doing it, and there's one judge in particular that's very adamant that we shouldn't do it.
Well, we agreed to make that centralized arrangement deal with the county to supply, was it 18 nights per month? Or nine times
They
two?
divide it.
So now it doubles the workload of, or if we don't double the workload of our current judge, then the other towns will have to pick up those other 9 days, and we would be
Well,
responsible for putting that bill. for
The reality of that is, there's a lot of judges that weren't real interested in going in and doing the centralized arraignment, and there were judges that were, and that were picking it up all the time, and somebody, and you'd be able to tell better than I can, said, no, everybody's gonna do it. Go ahead.
Okay, the issue is your southern tier doesn't have a good internet service.
Oh.
So those judges weren't able to do virtual arraignments, but now that they're back at the jail, we picked those judges back up, but virtually they weren't able to during COVID. Now, some of the judges, and there are a couple, because they're farmers, and they can't break away early morning or early evening to do arraignments. So they've kind of worked out a deal with the Seventh Judicial District saying, our work doesn't allow us the hours that you're provided.
Sure.
So what they do is they send out email, like I have an email now from Shannon Bureau in Rochester saying, I have these dates available, judges can't be there. So people volunteer to fill in.
Okay.
So there's always coverage, but I just don't understand. CAP is a judicial duty. It has nothing to do with abolishing a judicial position,
It-
other than the fact that it puts a higher, but more workload on the individual that's there, which isn't a problem because you're here for public service. You're not here to become a millionaire.
No,
Right?
that's true.
the
None of us are gonna get rich doing any of the stuff that we do for certain.
So,
The fundamental difference I think that we have is that I think that it was a very big portion of the job, being in law enforcement for the last 20+ years and calling judges and trying to get judges in the middle of the night on a Sunday when it's 95 degrees out in the summer. I need you to come in for an arraignment. I need you to come in for an arraignment, and calling around and calling around and calling around. That doesn't happen
That's gone
anymore.
now, yes.
It does not happen. It has not happened since CAP went into existence. The arraignments are done at the
Sheriff's.
at the jail at a designated time, 7 in the morning, 7 at night. They're not done at 3 in the morning. There really is not a mechanism right now to do an arraignment at 3 in the morning. We would be getting in trouble if we called the town judge at 3 in the morning to do an arraignment.
the middle of the night arraignments, if they're an emergent, go back to the town courts to be held.
Why would there be an emergency? The jail is open 24 hours a
I
day.
don't know, maybe rioting
There-
out of Rochester or Syracuse is gonna.
Where's the
eventually
better
come
place
Union
to-
County.
Where's the better
I can't
place to
answer
put them?
that.
Right in the jail, where we got bars and locks. That's where they
I can't
go.
answer that.
So the reality is, this is where we're at. We've got a resolution.
So how's this affect the town if we do vote against, or for this resolution?
If we vote against or if we vote for it.
All for, no, against it, really?
If the.
Well, no, for it, the way you've got it written.
If the resolution passes, then Tammy will publish this resolution in the paper because it's subject to a permissive referendum. And then it'll be submitted by the town clerk to the Board of Elections, so they are aware of the abolishment as well.
Can you explain permissive referendum? So the public could file a petition saying, we want to put this on the ballot to vote for it. They've got a certain amount of time to do that.
You got a certain amount of time, it's gonna be an official petition, and there's certain requirements for that petition process. It's gonna be so many
Yeah.
residents.
So if the townspeople had a big gripe about this, they would have the ability to circulate a petition and force it onto the ballot to vote on it.
In essence, is it gonna hurt the town?
Huh?
In essence, is it gonna hurt the town by eliminating
Well, I just
one
like
judge?
the insurance
It hurts
policy
us
of
by
having
saving
two.
10 grand.
I know, I realize that,
I just like the
And anything
insurance policy
else?
of having a second judge. That's all I like.
I
But we
agree
have
with you.
backup, we can always call someone else in if we need backup. And that option's always there.
If-
We can call the circuit court, we pay for it, but we have the option of having a backup if if mayor, something happened to Mary, she got sick, she couldn't fulfill her duties, we would have to pay for an outside judge to come in and do it,
They would do that, much like Mary.
like
filled
Mary
in
did for Niles.
For Niles, yeah.
But I was approved by the Seventh Judicial and appointed by them. It's
Mhm.
not, I mean, you have to go through the.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
and when I talked to Seventh Judicial, they said whatever help that we need, and Seventh Judicial actually said to me, they are seeing this across the state. We're not the only one doing this. There are several municipalities throughout the state
I agree.
doing this. We are among dozens of towns that are reducing the number of justices across the state.
And there are some towns that have one justice. I mean, it's not like we're like, oh my God, there's only one, you know.
No, I know
There's
that.
some towns that only have one. They work fine.
Did we get a motion in a second on this?
We did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fred and
Okay,
Tim.
okay, I just wanted to make sure.
But then there was a possible amendment that you mentioned about, I think, either removing or editing.
Well, we put that up there.
Whereas.
I made a motion on the table, but he
I-
denied it, so.
No, that was yours.
Yeah.
So, but we could edit that one if that judge, made the point. We can keep it in there as more of a point of reference that the.
What was the
thing was that the
This one here.
arraignments are being held at the county jail.
That one.
that was added?
No,
No,
Mary
she
thought
wanted
it
to delete it?
Mary
In a
thought we could
conversation with Ed today,
It doesn't
she's
matter.
referenced,
You're doing it for saving money, not
Yeah,
for
yeah.
arraignments at the jail.
Yeah.
Because actually arraignments at the jail is technically saving you money.
Saving money
Yeah.
anyways, yeah.
So we can we can just mute point then, we can just leave it. So I'm, I'm going to support this, but I'm going to, call the vote. So want to do a roll call?
Councilman Cornelius,
Yes.
Counselor Gachardi,
Tony? You gotta unmute yourself. Yeah, you said yes? Let me see if I can unmute. I can unmute him. Yes, unmute.
Yeah, we should hear his voice.
Yeah.
Unmuted.
Okay, there you go. How do you vote?
Yes.
Okay,
Councilman Kerstetter,
No.
Councilman Vitale,
I guess with reservations.
Supervisor Wagner.
yes. Okay, next resolution is to, this is to authorize the award, the contract for the general construction, Owasco Road Water Main Replacement Phase 2. Basically, can I get a motion for discussion? I'll
Move.
explain.
I'll second.
Fred, yep,
Hey, it's Ally Colvin.
hi.
Hi, I didn't quite get that vote. Can you go over that again, please?
The vote was Fred Cornelius, yes. Tim Kerstetter, no. Mike Vitale, yes. Tony Gachardi, yes. And myself, yes.
All right, thanks, Ed.
Yep, thank you.
This is the down to green shutters.
Green
That-
shutters to Adams
Adams
Ave.
Ave.
It's a, we went out, do we have a motion in a second?
Yep,
Yes.
yep,
Okay.
yep.
So this is
I just
the,
gave Fred the Excel spreadsheet from the engineers comparison. The bid.
okay, the big, okay. So we went out to bid. I think everybody should have a copy of that.
Yeah, I just wanted to get.
Yeah,
everything.
we went out to
Print
bid.
these things.
And at our discretion, we went out to bid, we discussed this, we voted on it, and we went out to bid. The same, ironically, the same company that did the other water replacement project from Havens Ave to Adams Ave, they, at the time when they were doing the project and they were already mobilized, they gave us a bid for over almost $1 million. Now they came in at $778,000 or $88,000. So a savings of like $200,000 to the town. And at the time, the town board decided not to go forward when it was over $1 million. And we said, that's ridiculous. So we tabled it. We went out to bid. And one of the things that, so they came back favorably, but one of the things that you're gonna need to be aware of, we do have about $500,000, over $500,000 in our reserve account that could pay for this project, and we have $400,000 coming in relief funding from the state to be used for capital projects such as this. So we can potentially pay cash for this project going forward. One of the stipulations is that $200,000 will be coming in this year. Another $200,000 will be coming in next year, 12 months after we get the first check. So what we may have to do is one, probably we can borrow money from the sewer fund to help pay for this, and we have to pay back the money to the sewer fund with interest. So we're just basically shifting money around from special district. The nice thing about this is everybody that's in the sewer fund is in the water district. So it's benefiting them as well. And if we can get through this project without having to borrow any money and still keep our reserve funding available, that's what, I would recommend that we do.
400,000 was one, what was the other number? What was the other number?
It was, the remaining money would come from reserve funding, from the water district reserve funding for capital projects.
When Robinson did the other phase, did they get a lot of extras? Because that's what they look for is extras.
Not really. One of the things that we're going to do is one of the things that's not included, thank for this reminder, one of the things that's not included in this price is we have to hire a clerk of the
We're
works.
paying for a Clerk of
So
Works.
we got to pay for someone to hire a clerk of the works. One of the things that I was thinking is one of the jobs that part of the new deputy position that we're trying to fill, that could be that, a clerk of the works person, a good one's going to be making, if we had to hire someone from Barton or Judas, we're looking at $85 an hour. they're only gonna be paying the guy $45 an hour, but we gotta pay markup and fringe benefits and stuff like that. We're not gonna pay, our guy anywhere near that, but we need to get a person hired, and that would save the town the money already in the first year. So or we can hire an outside person. If we can't fill that position quickly enough, we're not gonna probably start contracting or start digging the ground till at least August before we can even put a shovel in the ground.
Well,
Do you have
that's
anybody
a,
in mind?
Nope,
No one?
nobody. I have nobody in mind. I have nobody in mind. I can answer that.
What's your
Wow.
opinion
See how fast he said that?
No, I don't. I have nobody in mind whatsoever.
So,
on-
so
Is,
that brings
thinking
up the,
to Retire, what's his name, the one that's helping us now with the solar?
Frank Diorio.
Frank, is he gonna retire?
I have no idea. I haven't talked to him.
it's a different question that we can put off till later, but I'm looking for where we're at on that with civil service, and
I haven't done anything
yeah.
yet.
So we'll have to figure that out. And then
Yep.
once that's set, then we can advertise, we can do
Yep.
interviews, do the whole thing.
And I have nobody in mind. I have nobody.
I see a guy across the street from my lot removing trees and stuff. He looks pretty sharp.
No, he's not interested. With the Buddha,
Yeah.
the stone Buddha.
So we're gonna have to find somebody that's qualified, and you need a strong guy out there.
You need a strong person.
And make sure they don't get
Yeah.
the extras. That's what they look for to make their money.
So any other questions on this?
John Lampier was clerk of the works for the jail project.
Not interested. He's retiring too.
I heard that.
Yeah. So do we have a
He
motion a
was
second?
cooking works there.
Yeah.
Did we get a
Yeah,
motion?
yeah, you got a
Okay,
motion.
okay. So any other discussion on this project?
No.
Okay, want to vote?
Counselor Cornelius.
Man, you're having
I
a
know, I
tough
don't
time
know
with
why.
that today.
Because I say councilman and I changed it to counselor, so that's what's screwing me up. Councilman Cornelius.
Yes.
Councilman Gachardi.
No.
Councilman Kerstetter.
Yes.
Councilman Vitale.
Yes.
Supervisor Wagner.
Yes.
There. No, I got
Okay.
it. It was tough tying me.
Now, this one right here, motion is to approve the following amend bond resolution for long-term financing for the permanent GAC unit.
I'll make a motion for discussion.
Is there a second?
Aye.
Does anybody have any questions on the bond resolution for the GAC?
No,
No.
So I don't have to explain it.
just talk about it.
Okay, all those in favor?
Yeah.
I,
Okay, all right. Okay, the next resolution is the Estapo notice.
And I'll make a motion for it too.
second.
Okay, Timmy, then Fred, anybody have any questions on the approval that will be published in the paper for the Estapo notice for the permanent granular activated carbon project?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next is to approve the budget modifications. Is there a motion?
Move.
I'll second.
Also,
Okay, so we have a motion, a second from Fred and Tim, and then any discussion for the budget modifications? All those in favor?
I,
aye.
Aye. Okay, next one is the audit and payment of claims with the addition of the $716.25. All those, motion?
Move. Second.
What was the
Okay.
716 for the sewer bill?
No, it was for the Walt Aikman, they didn't have it done in time, so his bill for whatever. Tammy, you want to explain
It didn't
that?
come through the email. Lori didn't see
Oh.
the email, so she didn't have it in.
For the tree sewer, or for the Arbor Day?
Well, there was
Proclamation.
there was a couple different. It was, one was the wetland deal and one was for the tree committee. So it was broke up into two parts. So she didn't see it, so she asked Ed if it was okay to still.
He had one
adjust
last
it.
one.
One of the things that he did, I think he sent, I don't know if I sent pictures, was he put that metal screen down to the hogweed. And you put the metal screen down, trying to eliminate the growth from coming up, so it kills that. And so he's doing that. Part of the 5-year thing that DEC is requiring us to do is one, we gotta do application of spraying up there with a certified person to spray
Pesticide.
the pesticides, the wet, or herbicides, the
All right.
herbicide on the wetland area. And we're trying to use natural stuff too as well to stunt the growth, and with a metal mesh. And actually, DEC is very interested in the results of this thing because they want to use it on many other projects. So they recommend this for us as well. So any other questions on the,
I think the last item, water main replacement project, shouldn't that be phase 2, not phase 3?
Back on the appropriations,
where you see that?
on the fund,
Right at the end.
the last
The
account
last
descriptions.
budget
Yeah,
line.
just circle that.
Okay, yeah, phase 2, yep, sorry. Yep. Okay. So no other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna abstain because I haven't looked through them yet.
Okay. Okay, and then, let's see, we have a motion to go into executive session.
I will make a motion to go into executive session for the
second.
purpose of discussing contract negotiations.
Okay,
And Jimmy, you seconded that?
okay.
And the time is 4:51.
4:51, and we do not intend to come back and vote on anything, so